I decided to start this video in the milking stall for two reasons. One is there's a bench. Two, it's shady. It's started out as a chilly morning. Fall is definitely thinking of approaching. But it's hot. It's the sun is out. There's not a cloud in the sky, and it is hot. Since there's no clouds, we did start the day foggy, but it hasn't rained in a week. So all my rain storage containers they're not empty, but they're dropping. And the water troughs are all dropping. And I'm having to carry water now. Well, I hate carrying water. That stuff is heavy. And now that everything is emptying, well, in the doe paddock today, the does completely ran out of water, which meant I could start working on rearranging things. Now, some things are already set up. By the shelter on the downward slope, I've always had a trough, a black rubber trough. I've had it for years. Right now it's empty, but every time it rains, water runs off the roof and into that trough. Over by the fence that borders the garden, I have a metal water trough. It's always been hooked up to the water supply, the well, by a hose. But since the well's broken and I have no running water right now, the goats drank all that water finally. For years, I've had a table on covering that water trough. That was built in That was built in 2012. It got damaged during the microburst when a building flew into it, the previous goat shelter. But we fixed it up and it's worked. The purpose was just to provide shade for the water, so it wouldn't get so hot in the summer. Occasionally during the winter I'd get it removed, but not always. Well, right now, without running water, I really don't want it covered. And plus it's cool, or cooler than it is in the summertime, so it doesn't need the shade as much. So when a friend was over here, I don't know, last week sometime, he helped me move it over. And, well, I got thinking, yeah, it's nice, the rain being able to fall into the water trough, but I decided to put that table to use. Let me show you what I've done. Okay, here's the black trough, and if you look up, there's the roof, and it slants. So every time it rains, water falls into that trough. So that was one way to collect water and have it more convenient to the goats during wet periods. Okay, this is where I have had the water trough, the middle one, and here's the float pump. And a float pump works because when the water gets low, this thing comes out, which lets the water start flowing through the hose and into the tub, the trough. But when the water pushes it up, it's kind of like a balloon or something. When the water pushes it back up, it plugs it. Well, I'm going to let this ground dry out. And I've moved it over here. And here's the table that I've always used for shade. And I've kind of used some rocks to get it to come down. And hopefully the plan is that every time it rains, water will get into both of these troughs. That this will get some water and the black one will get some water. I might get a rock and put it under that too, that leg. probably help, but it will flow down into the trough and the goats will have water. That's the goal. And that will help me during this period when I have no running water, to not have to haul water out to the goats. This was completely dry, and so I've hauled bucket after bucket after bucket of water to get it this full. It's enough water for now. I'll probably haul some more tomorrow so that the goats and the dog, Sarah, will have more water to drink. When this shelter was built, we put gutters on the back in here, and this trough used to easily sit right here, really close. And the water would just flow in, and every time it rained, this trough filled up. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Over time, I don't know how this happened, but the trough got moved over. I can't get it over, so I need to find a way. I tried once, but it didn't work. So I need to find something else to make it so that the water can run down here and then throw into there. So I'm going to go look around, and I'm going to see if I can find anything. Hi, Houston. Hi, Houston. Well, I have a pile of plumbing stuff that the previous owners left, and this glued elbow was just sitting there in the pile, and I bent the rain thingy and slipped it on. I haven't glued it or nothing. I've done absolutely nothing to keep it on there. We'll see what happens. See if the water falls in there. It might just fall off because it's not glued on, or it might stay there. Who knows? We'll see. Of course, if it works, I can always glue it on there. But it didn't cost me a thing, so we'll see how that works.